You're watching You Solve the World. I'm your host, Marina Kufa, today with Grant Fuhr.
Mostly me.
Yes, and this is your story too.
It is. And they did a nice documentary of my life. And the producer I've known for, well, probably since I was about 17 years old. So it was a lot of fun to do.
He spoke very highly of you and took him like 1 year just to produce the movie. So it was impressive.
It was, well, we got a lot of footage he went through, and there's a lot of memories. So we had a good time putting it all together. And for me, it was fun because I get to live my life a second time.
So can you tell us a little bit about your story? Because obviously people's going to look into it, but if we can give them a heads up.
Part of it's the way I grew up. I mean, I think that was part of it. We didn't grow up in a really pricey neighborhood or anything, so went through some trials and tribulations along the way, and probably took the road a little less traveled to get to where I am.
What about hockey?
The hockey was great. I mean, I was lucky enough to play on probably one of the best teams ever. So anytime you get to play with guys like Wayne Gretzky, Mark Messier, Paul Coffey, you gotta love it. Awfully lucky.
So when did you start to play hockey?
I started at 4.
Oh, really?
I mean, I started when I was little and loved it from day one, and I still love it.
Any suggestions for upcoming hockey players?
Live your dream. I mean, I think that's the biggest thing I tell kids is you don't know until you try. So if they go out and try and they love it, then stay with it.
Live your dream and stay with it and watch the documentary. Thank you so much for your interview. Thank you so much for your time.
It's my pleasure.
How did you guys come up with the idea?
Actually, Grant was approached a few times, and he finally gave in and said, okay, why not? So we did it. It took about a year of having them invade our privacy, and this is what happened, Making Coco.
Talk to me about the name a little bit, Making Coco.
Well, when Grant played junior, because he's a little darker than the rest of the guys, he always had this tan, which of course, he's half black. The guys in the dressing room named him Coco, and it just kind of stuck. So throughout the years, they all started calling him Coco. So hence the name, Making Coco.
How long you guys been married?
We're getting ready to celebrate 5 years.
Wow. So what are the secrets about Grant that you think he would not talk about, but you think people should know?
Well, he's very, very humble. When I first met Grant, actually, I thought he was a golfer. I met him at a charity golf tournament. I had no idea because he wouldn't share what he did in life. So it took a little while, and then I finally figured out he wasn't the actual golfer. He was a celebrity, and that's just when you meet him. He's very humble, and he doesn't talk about all of his accolades. But 5 Stanley Cups and Hall of Fame, I had no idea when I met him.
Did you know anything about hockey before?
No idea. I was born and raised in Southern California. I know nothing about hockey, and when he took me to Canada for the first time and all of his fans started approaching him, I'm like, oh my God, who am I with? I felt like I was with a rock star.
So I heard that a lot of people, they get hooked on the hockey. Once they start watching it or understand, they get hooked on it. Is this true?
This is true. What's so funny is because I said I knew nothing about hockey, and I'm actually starting to slowly learn more and more with him. He takes me to games, and actually I have to say my favorite part are the fights. And I hear they're taking them away. I'm not happy about that. But no, actually going to see it live, so much better than seeing it on TV.
Well, this is definitely going to be a huge impact on the new generation with the documentary, correct?
Yes, it is. Babe, see my husband? Don't lie.
He's like, babe, come on, let's go. Okay, well, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. And we're looking forward to watch this amazing documentary.
Thank you. We're looking forward to you.
Fan, obviously, Canadian. And Grant played in my hometown at one point in time in Toronto. So it's great to see him. I haven't seen him in probably 20 years.
So you flew here from Canada?
No, I live in California now. Yeah, I live in LA now, but as soon as Zach told me to come down, he said Grant's showing his movie, I was here in a heartbeat. I'm obviously a big fan, and he's an icon in the sport. And the opportunity to hang out with him after 20 years.
Wow.
20 years since I've seen him, so it was a nice surprise, really nice surprise.
So hooked on hockey.
In Canada, I think it's just it's part of our heritage. It's part of our culture. I was skating before I could walk. Okay. Yeah, really, genuinely was. It's just something that we're very passionate about in Canada, and obviously the climate. the weather.
Yes.
You know, camaraderie. It's like a rite of passage.
Right.
You know?
Winter sports is very well known, right?
Yeah.
So what are your latest projects?
So I own a company called Vitamin Patch Club, and the technology, I've actually got one on my wrist. It's the exact same technology as a nicotine patch, but instead of nicotine, we embed them with vitamins.
That's so cool.
It's-
So what do you know about hockey?
I know a lot about hockey. I'm really good friends with Grant. I grew up playing hockey in Michigan. It was kind of like, it was my life growing up. I live out in LA now, but I'm still a huge hockey fan.
Wow, I know nothing about hockey, but I'm looking so forward to the documentary, you know?
I'm super excited to see it. I know it's been out for a while in Canada. I've been itching to see it. It's finally came to California, and I live in West Hollywood, so I made the drive up here, and I'm excited to see it.
Fantastic. So what are your latest projects?
Right now, I'm still filming Vanderpump Rules on Bravo. My fiance and I, Brittany, we're both working on some extra projects right now. We have a drink coming out at South by Southwest. We're doing a little day playing roles on some other shows, and we just got some special projects coming up. We're really excited to see what the future, what's going on.
All right, great. Well, maybe you want to share with the public how they can find you, and of course, everybody knows your show, but maybe
you can watch us Monday nights at 9 o'clock on Bravo, Vanderpump Rules. I hope everybody knows. I don't know. We've been on
your social media, because you know.
Yeah, Mr. Jax Taylor on Instagram. But yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to see the movie.
Let's go.